Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be speaking to you about Module 2, which is all about designing and setting up your social media channels. Now, it's really important that we let you know from the get-go that you do not need to be on every single social media channel. So there's a lot of them out there, and a mistake that a lot of people make is that they just sign up for everything without actually using any of the social media channels they've signed up for. So we would much rather you sign up for a few to begin with, just whatever you think is manageable. Could be 1, 2, or 3, and then as you go throughout the program and as you get to grips with the ones that you have set up already, start to use them, start to get some results from them, and then you can always add more social media channels in the future. So to begin with, you don't need to be on every single social media channel. What you also need to think about is your target audience. So think about the type of people you want to have as potential clients. What social media channels are they most likely to be on? And then you need to be in the same place so that you can actually attract them and find them, and that they can find you as well as a result of being there and getting involved on those channels. So you need to go where your target audience is, and you need to be active there as well. So a bit later on, as you can see, we'll talk a bit more in Module 3 about building up that targeted audience, but it's really important before we do that, you have a strong foundation and that you set up your social media channels, and not just set them up and create them, but that they're actually optimized so that they look really good and represent your brand in the best possible way. And that just means you'll get much better results as we go throughout the rest of these modules. So the purpose of this video, the introduction into Module 2, designing and setting up your social media channels, is to do two things. The first thing is to explain why you should be creating and optimizing your social media channels in the first place and what the potential is, just so you can see the bigger picture. And secondly, it's to educate you as to what are the different social media channels out there, what kind of people use them, and what social media channels will be the best ones for you to be on. So why should you be using social media in the first place? Well, pretty much everyone these days is on social media in one way or another. And because there are a lot of people using social media, chances are the people that you want to have as potential clients, people that you want to have as actual clients, they're going to be using some form of social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. They're going to be somewhere. So that just means that you can actually find them, reach out to them, and attract them, and start to build up that targeted audience of those interested in what you do. And it's not just useful to find your potential clients, but it's also great to connect with your existing clients. So your existing clients are also already using social media, so you can actually connect to them and build up a stronger relationship with them so that they stay with you for longer and refer you more business because of that strong relationship you have with them. So you can actually communicate to them each day and speak to them and keep growing that relationship with them through social media. And that's just such a powerful thing that there's not really any other way that you can do that in the same way that you can by using social media. So the fact is that your audience, your target audience, no matter who they are, can be found on social media. And it's not just your job to find them, but it's your job to be visible so that they can find you. And you have to remember that social media is something that's happening right now. It's not the future. It's not something that's going to get really big in the next few years. It's something that is already big, it's already huge, and it's something that's happening right now, which is why now is the time to get involved with it. So I'm not going to bore you with lots and lots of statistics as to the growth of social media and stuff like that. I mean, as a modern thinking accountancy firm, you already know that social media is big, but I do want to point out just a few statistics, things that I think are highly relevant to you, just to show you the potential of it. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with this, but I just want you to see the potential and see how much social media has actually changed in the last year, in fact. So let's start off with speaking about Facebook. Facebook has over 1.65 billion users. That's billion with a B, not million, billion. So Facebook is huge. Now, before, a lot of people would say that Facebook is really just for B2C business, people that are trying to target consumers. But actually, that's no longer true anymore. Facebook has changed a lot in the last 12 months, and their targeting options are very powerful. So on Facebook, you can actually target people based on their specific job titles. So you can target business owners, managing directors based in a certain location, maybe a 10-mile radius of your postcode. You can also target people based on demographics and a lot of high level, really detailed, intricate data. Sometimes it's a bit scary how much you can actually target people on Facebook. The downside to Facebook is that it does cost a lot of money if you want to do this properly. So we normally recommend that you don't really start doing Facebook properly until you've mastered Twitter and LinkedIn. But just keep that in mind for now, that Facebook is a very powerful social media channel. So it's worth having a presence on there, even if you don't use it right now, because in the future it could pay some really big dividends for your firm. So maybe before you could ignore Facebook as an accountancy firm, but now you really do need to have Facebook at the top of your mind for your social media strategy. So definitely keep Facebook in mind. And also remember that Facebook own Instagram. And Instagram, well, Instagram and Snapchat, but Instagram in particular, both of those channels are some of the fastest growing social media channels right now. And Instagram is just growing bigger and bigger, and Facebook are constantly adding more and more features to it. And Instagram is one of those that you definitely want to keep at the top of your mind as well. Next, let's move on to Twitter. So Twitter has 320 million users, not as high as Instagram and Facebook, but it's still a lot of people. So what are some of the things that make Twitter unique? And one of the biggest things about Twitter, one of the things that make it so powerful, and actually one of the best social media channels to start out with if you're just starting on social media and you're looking to get some results relatively easily and quickly, is that Twitter is one big open conversation. So what that means is on Facebook, for example, a lot of people have private accounts. So in order to get in front of them, you need to pay Facebook for advertisements so that they can show your advertisement or your message in front of those people. But on Twitter, it's an open social media network. So what that means is you can actually search for people based on what kind of keywords they have on their Twitter profile, based on what kind of things they're tweeting, based on what kind of organizations or accounts they're following, and you can actually reach out to them. And the reason you can do that is because most people on Twitter have public accounts. So it's like one big conversation that anyone can get involved in, anyone can see and find. And unlike Facebook, which is very closed and has lots of private accounts, Twitter is very open and has lots of public accounts. So finally, we move on to LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a very interesting social media channel, and I think LinkedIn has a very interesting future. As you probably already know, Microsoft actually paid a lot of money, $26.2 billion in fact, to buy LinkedIn. So they bought LinkedIn in June 2016. And the fact that Microsoft now own LinkedIn and they spent all that money on acquiring LinkedIn means that they've definitely got some very interesting plans up ahead for LinkedIn. So LinkedIn started off really well. And I think in the last few years, it hasn't been as active, or it hasn't really reached up to its full potential. A lot of people have LinkedIn accounts, but over the years, I think, and I've actually seen less and less people use LinkedIn in terms of using it every day. But a lot of people still do have LinkedIn accounts, and a lot of people still use LinkedIn to do research on people, to find out what kind of people or company they're going to be working with and learn a bit more about them. Because LinkedIn is a bit like having an online CV, even though it really shouldn't be used that way. A lot of people do use it to find out a bit more about the people or the company that they're working with. So it's really important that when you use LinkedIn, first of all, you have a very good professional looking optimized profile that represents your accountancy firm in the best possible way. On top of that, because a lot of people have LinkedIn accounts, even though they might not necessarily use LinkedIn every single day, a lot of people do have LinkedIn accounts, and LinkedIn allows you to find people using an advanced search feature. So we'll talk a bit more about this later on as we go into generating leads and building up a targeted audience. But essentially, LinkedIn allows you to search for people based on their job title, their industry, their location, their company size, and all kinds of other data points that LinkedIn have as a result of people filling in their LinkedIn profile information. So it's a very powerful research tool to find people that would match your criteria when it comes to potential clients. And we're going to show you how you can actually use the data on LinkedIn to find people, and then use social media and even a bit of email marketing to reach out to them and start conversations with those that you'd like to potentially get as clients. So LinkedIn is a very powerful social media channel, and the fact that Microsoft now own it, and they're definitely going to be investing a lot of money and time and resources into this, because this is basically their share of the social media pie. This is their foot in the door when it comes to social media. I think that LinkedIn, even though it's big now, it's going to get even bigger in the next 2 or 3 years. So definitely keep an eye on this one and make sure that your LinkedIn profile is as optimized as it can be and that you keep LinkedIn in mind when it comes to your social media strategy. So far we have covered the top 4 social media channels that you can see here on your screen: Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and LinkedIn. And remember, Instagram and Facebook are linked quite closely together because Facebook own Instagram. So when you do advertising on Facebook, it's very similar to the way that you do advertising on Instagram. It's the same kind of platform. So when we do Facebook, it's going to cover a lot of the things that we do for Instagram as well. Just in terms of how you actually do it will just change slightly. But the 4 channels you see here, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. The reason we've focused on these ones in this video is because they're the ones that I actually recommend that you do to start off with, especially as an accounting firm. Especially, I think Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn will be very powerful ones for you. Now, there are other social media channels, as you can see here. So what I thought I'd do is give you an overview of the 4 social media channels at the bottom of your screen. So Medium, Snapchat, Google+, and YouTube. So the reason we're going to focus on those 4 social media channels later is because to get you started and get you set up, I want you to become an expert essentially at the 4 social media channels at the top, and then we are going to move on to Medium, Snapchat, and Google Plus and YouTube. YouTube, I know, is quite it is a bit of a different social media channel. It's more actually towards video, but there is a social element of YouTube, so we're going to cover some of that and explain how it fits into your social media strategy. So it's not too much going to be focused on social media because YouTube is more of a video channel, but Medium, Snapchat, and Google Plus are definitely ones where it'll be good to have a presence on, and we're going to explain to you what it's all about and how it all actually works. So just to give you a quick overview now, Medium, that social media channel was set up by one of the Twitter co-founders. Medium is all about publishing and posting high quality content. So your blog posts and articles, if you actually publish them on Medium, you can actually start to attract an audience of those interested in the kind of things that you talk about. Now, another reason why we focus on Twitter first and then Medium is because Twitter and Medium are linked together quite well. So as you build up an audience on Twitter and as you build up more of a presence on Twitter, once you sign up for Medium, you can actually get most of your Twitter followers, if they have a Medium account, to then follow you on Medium. So by building up your Twitter presence, what you're also doing is for the future building up your Medium presence as well. So Medium, it's medium.com in case you're wondering. If you go to that page, you'll be able to see and find different articles around a whole set of different topics. The topics at the moment that are doing really well on Medium tend to be articles about business development, marketing, sales, leadership, things like that. So as an accountant, that puts you in a really good position because chances are a lot of the articles that you create and a lot of the content that you create will all be about business growth and things that business owners can do to obviously improve their business and save money, save time, and things like that. So them kind of articles do really well on Medium. So it's definitely a good channel to keep in mind for the future, especially if you are creating content and you want more people to read your content as well. So next we move on to Snapchat. Snapchat, a lot of people think Snapchat is just for really young people, sort of teenagers and people that are interested in sending each other selfies and things like that. But a lot of businesses actually do use Snapchat, and you'd probably be quite surprised if you Google businesses using Snapchat. You'll see a lot of big brands are actually using Snapchat, and a lot of small business owners are also using Snapchat. And the reason they're using Snapchat is because Snapchat, the way that it works, it has a very high sort of engagement rate, which means when people are looking at your Snapchat story, so when the people are watching the videos that you create on Snapchat, they're actually paying attention and they're actually fully focused on the things that you're saying. So on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, when you post content, usually people are scrolling through their newsfeed and there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of other pieces of content around it, and they have to actually stop what they're doing and have a look at your content, which does happen, but there's just a lot more distractions. Whereas on Snapchat, if someone follows you on Snapchat and they have a look at the things that you're sharing, they're going to be completely focused on only the things that you're sharing, and they're actually going to watch it. And it just means that you're going to be able to build a relationship with the people that are following you and looking at the stuff that you post much better, much stronger, and much quicker. So Snapchat is definitely one to keep in mind, but again, it's all about video, so you're going to have that kind of content ready to create in the first place. But we'll help you with all of that as we move through this. But again, right now it's just for you to be aware of what's involved with Snapchat and what it's all about. Okay, so next we have Google Plus. Google Plus is a bit of an interesting one because, in all honesty, not a lot of people are actually active and using Google Plus, but it does have its place simply because Google own it. So sometimes by posting regularly on Google Plus, it can also help with your SEO, so it can help with your rankings on Google. Not massively, but there has been known to be some sort of impact with using Google Plus because it is owned by Google. So Google are going to obviously promote their own social media channel and content on their own website more than anyone else's. But that being said, in terms of active users, Google Plus doesn't have that many active users, but it is owned by Google. So there is potential for this to grow in the future. So when you're using Google Plus, I would still have a profile just to have a presence on there. And you can still set up an account and you can still post social media updates. And the way that we show you how to post social media updates, it's not going to take any extra time if you include Google Plus in there as well, because you can do it at the same time as you post on other channels as well. So it's worth having for now, but just keep in mind, I don't think you're going to get that many results right now by using Google Plus, but that could change in the future. And if it does, we'll be sure to let you know as soon as it happens. And then finally, we have YouTube, and YouTube is all about video. So YouTube can be very powerful because not only is it the world's second largest search engine, which first is obviously Google, but being the second largest search engine in the world, it means that a lot of people are actually typing in different things related to keywords or things that they might be looking for, especially when it comes to business. So we've actually had people for our own YouTube videos actually contact us as a direct result of searching for things on Google, searching for things on YouTube, and finding one of our videos, and then booking maybe a consultation with us or just sending us an email or asking us a question. So YouTube is actually very powerful, and we're going to show you how to use YouTube primarily so that you can achieve higher rankings in Google and in the YouTube search engines, so that you can actually build more brand awareness and actually get more people knowing about the type of things that you do. But as you know, YouTube is all about video. So in order to use YouTube effectively, you need to be creating good videos so that you can actually upload them and share them. So we're going to help you with what kind of videos you should post, what kind of videos you should share, and how you can optimize your videos. And even though this isn't the traditional sort of social media, it's still a very powerful social channel, and it has a lot of social media elements combined with it. And by creating your own YouTube channel, you can also share that content across the other social media channels that we have here. So that's a great way to get more views going to your videos. So we're going to help you with all of these channels, and hopefully in this video this gives you a much better idea of the kind of things that you should be posting, the kind of channels you should be joining, and what social media channels you should be focusing on right now in your accountancy firm.